Welcome to part two. I am going to try to get you as close as I can, and I'm going to really try to stay on my little mark back here. I know no other way to do this and keep the video really close. So I'm just going to kind of keep my pencil here above that mark, and I'm going to kind of move my page around so we'll get an idea of what's going on. I'm still holding on to this midnight color, and I've established some darks that are in here, and I want to kind of mold them a little bit more. I went through and did my shadow just by lightly going across it, and it got the effect that I want. I wanted this effect. That's how I want it. Now I want to go in and kind of form some stuff in there that's in there, because there's enough light getting in there that I can see something, and I want to reestablish some of that. So I'm gonna go probably with something like this right here, stink bug. I love the names of these pencils from Black Widow. It's just amazing, some of this. I think the fans or somebody helped pick the names. It's really hilarious. So we're taking our stink bug, and we're gonna come in, and we're just gonna find. Make sure I'm over my mark. We're gonna come in here first in a safe area. We're gonna find what this is gonna do in this dark area. Okay. So it's not really doing a lot. So that lets me know I can get up. When I get up in here, I can pull it back a little bit. Yeah, it's doing something. There it goes. There it goes. So that's what I wanted. I want to kind of blend into that darkness over there with something. I needed a transition, and I need a little bit more form in here. This probably isn't going to work too good on some of the dark areas, but I'm thinking it'll give me something right in here, and that's basically what I wanted. It's just like that. I can come in with this yellow now and hopefully get away with a little bit of light is getting in there. So we're gonna do something like that right there. Yeah. Of course, this is gonna play out up. You see that line right there, and I'll reestablish that later. Right now, let's just keep moving. We wanted to kind of get this forehead area done, which is probably for you going to be so boring, and I'm not an entertainer, so I'm not going to be able to sit here and keep you laughing or entertained or anything. It's just if it's your will to see this through, then you will stick around. So there's that. I wish this was kind of like where I could see what people were asking. That would be awesome. Maybe do like a Friday night. Is that something maybe people could say in the comments, like, hey, yeah, let's do live Friday night, and we'll sit down for an hour and we'll do some cool coloring. Maybe pick a topic, as long as it's not like puppies and stuff like that. I'm really not into sitting there and flaking all day on fur. I just don't see me doing that. But there are some cool people out there that are doing it, and they do an awesome job, and I'm in awe. I wish I knew all their names. I would definitely throw out a shout out to some of the people that I think are awesome out there doing art, and they're like doing coloring pages. They're doing like from the blank page, they're drawing all that stuff. It's just like, wow. Okay, now we started with some blues, and we did bring some blues up here, but I didn't put enough of that yellow in there to transition from blue to green. So I don't want to rely on that blue going in there. Now it's an effect that if we keep it subtle, like we have so far, these little blues here, and maybe we'll add a little bit because we got it here. We'll kind of continue with a balance, you know. pulling some of that blue up into here. But I think I want to go more of that fleshy pink color. So I think we're really going to get away with this, and it's going to look really cool, I think. And it's not like I tested this already. It's not like I sat here 3 hours ago and colored this on a printout or something like that, or scanned it and messed around with all these colors. I'm going off the top of my head right now. I have no clue, but I just think it would be cool to come in with this pink, kind of like what we did down here for a transition between our I gotta keep it over here, where we did this work here. I really like it. I'm really getting this pink vibe coming up into here. It's really cool to me. So I'm gonna kind of keep that going. This dude's nose is so gnarly. we have totally given him a cool nose, I think. So I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna play with this. Now I did a picture before, one of Chuck's. I call him Chuck. I did one of his pictures before, and I kind of did something like this. And offhand, I don't have it like right next to me or anything, but I really like that effect. This pink, the yellows, and the greens did. It was fun. So maybe you're not having fun watching, but I'm having fun right now. This is my baseball. You know, this is me having fun. I know a lot of people like, you don't watch sports, you don't do sports. No, I do this. This is my fun. Cool. And if you notice, other than kind of hugging shadows here, because we already put our that yellowy color. I don't want to call it completely yellow, but we already put that kind of into our highlights. So, I mean, the next step is to kind of hug this. And when we look in here, we'll see these darker areas. Well, this is really not having much effect. Well, that's where we're going to go with our greens and stuff like that. That's where we're going to go have fun with that color. Just going to put it into those areas. So we're just, and also notice we're leaning heavy. We're really relying on this being a grayscale picture. We're relying on it. That's just, don't forget about it. You need it. You don't cover it up. Don't lose it. Keep it alive, because if you go somewhere like here, I've killed that grayscale, and I killed that grayscale there. So it's relying on my artistic ability to reestablish it back into the picture, those areas. And if you get up into here somewhere and you lose your grayscale up in here, then you're kind of in trouble a little bit, if you're a beginner, unless you have that artistic ability to go in and reestablish your values in the picture. So I'm going to reestablish them now with this color. And it's like, you notice we're not using a dark green to go into these areas. We're staying bright and pastel-y. And that's what I'm talking about, losing that. If I lost the grayscale, this means nothing. I would have to come in with a darker color and actually lose my pastel, lose the effect that we're getting out of this. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just in the back of my mind all the time while I'm doing these pictures. It's like, oh, there's a lot of, see the grayscale up here? You either stay true to the true grayscale, or you become Bob Ross and you redo all the value and the chroma, or whatever they call all that stuff in art. The chroma and the hue and the value and all that fun stuff I know nothing about, other than don't lose grayscale. All right. This is a really dark area. This is a shadow. If you notice his hair is coming across here and here, and it's casting a shadow. So shadow is different. Shadow is a lot different than just your tone of your flesh. So we can get away with a lot by darkening up that area with any color. We're not, as long as we're consistent, we're not married to any of the color we've already used other than our own need for it being consistent. It's like this guy's just talking out of this. All right. I'm trying to keep my pencil moving around. I kind of got a burnished spot right there that I don't want, but it is what it is. There. So we've done that. I don't know if this gets any brighter. I don't know if that was showing up. That's what I hate about it. This is all new to me. So hopefully I'm doing all right. Add some of this green in here. So I'll go ahead and give this guy a little look at this blue. Kind of what we did on the other side over there. Maybe got a little more, but we need our flesh tone. I think I'm gonna go, because this is a darker area, I don't think I'm really gonna go with that tan. I think I'm gonna kind of try to get in here with this sand, and it's just a little bit darker. And it looks like it's gonna play well with the colors, and yeah, cool color, I like it. Something like that. I'll take it right on up here. And just to kind of stay a little true, I'm going to add a little bit of this sand over here. Just to keep it, just to kind of try to get it's kind of what I was trying to do up there earlier. I knew something was off, and I wanted to fix it, and I think I grabbed like a weird color that didn't really work, but this worked a little better, I think. I can go with that. So it's a little bit darker area. Cool. So now got some blues still over there, but pushed them into that shadow, got rid of them a little bit. So I really want to take my green over here and push into this with some of this green. But the cool thing is, I think I can get away with more of the blue. There's not a lot of yellow to play in, because that's a white area right there. So I have to just go right up next to it. See, the only thing interrupting this color is this and the shadow. So I want it to play over a little bit in this area. Get under that shadow with it. Just so we didn't just leave it in one spot. Same as some of this over here, where I got this blue going a little crazy. Let's just for the sake of keeping it balanced, and maybe some of that blue's up here. Just in a few areas. Same as here. I put it there. This is all just a balancing act right here. Just let somebody see a little bit of that. Otherwise, it's kind of funky for the eye, because the eye will come here and it's like, where do I go? Oh, come on up here. We got a little blue for you to continue on looking at. That's one thing that took me a long time to realize, that when you're doing a picture, you know, this can be our focal right here, especially this nose. This nose is like really drawing in. But everything else can be blurred. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. What I can just come by here right now and just color whatever I want, do whatever. It's not gonna make a whole lot of difference, because it's your focal point. And it took me a long time to realize that your eye needs a place to rest. You can pull their eyes down and look at this nose and stuff like that, and it's gonna go around the picture. And it may just be that I take this orange that's so bright in his eyes and I put it maybe over here or something, and get you to look that way. It draws the eye. I don't know how all that works 100%, but I know that it's something to consider whenever you're doing your picture. Now, I want some shadows, so I'm gonna go ahead and be bold and run this across it right here, because I need to know how dark the shadow is actually gonna get, because a lot of other stuff is gonna matter. Now, the reason I'm doing this picture, right behind having done a skin tone video, the reason I'm doing this is because I watched a lot of videos, and I try to learn from other sites, and a lot of them are geared, because I watched a lot of them, people that would just like blank paper and draw a goose and color it or whatever, you know, and totally go through the whole shebang. And the way that they blended and everything, when I came over and tried to do it on a Grayscale, it just wasn't working for me. It just, for whatever reason, my skin tones always turned orange. I got some horrific looking pictures that I've done, and I just knew there was something different, and so I just kind of started evaluating. Well, what are they doing different than me? I was like, well, they're starting from scratch, so they can take their yellow and form, get it to make a form and all that, and then they can come in with whatever and make and continue the color, and they have to do that. They have to do that because they're going from scratch. And hats off to them for being able to do that. That's so artistic. I will never possess that. Not so much that I don't possess the talent to do something like that. I'm too lazy. I'm not gonna sit there and draw for 10 hours, then have to turn around and color for another 10 hours. Nope. Because that's how long it would take me to do something like that. I'm not gonna do it. So I'm gonna reestablish this eye now. This is how bright we went in. Remember, we used that bright yellow, and I'm gonna get a little darker on this one right here. I see a little line right there. So yeah, I really It's like one of the things that when I started doing this, I was like, well, if you're gonna make a channel and you're gonna really gear it toward doing grayscale coloring, number one, you got to be good at grayscale coloring. Number two, you can't knock other people that aren't that are totally different, because you have to compare apples to apples. And I know those people that are doing that could probably step into this grayscale and spank my butt any day of the week. They're just so talented. I mean, I admire them so much. But if you're trying to do grayscale and you're going over there and watching their videos, and then you come back and you try to apply it, a lot of that stuff is just going to be kind of useless. I mean, you don't see me doing a lot of hardcore blending here. I'm not blending anything. I'm relying on the grayscale, and that's why it's a grayscale picture. That's what you do. So I'm not trying to you're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. It's already done. Eyeball. I need to reinvent an eyeball, it looks like. Okay, we'll go with that. I'm trying to avoid messing up that hair that's coming down. I might as well. It's probably going to be a tone of this sort, so I can go ahead and get something on it there. No matter what, I'm stuck with it now, right? So I'm just going to come here. I'm just going to really go kind of dark on this. I'll play a little bit around the outside edge there. There. I'm going to pull this shadow, but I remember now on the other side I used that blue. So, and I can't remember which blue I used. I think it was this one. I need to get a tip going here though. There. So, sure, I'm still okay, good. Now, I'm not just using this blue because I want his eye to be blue. That sounds so stupid. I'm using this blue because orange and blue are opposite of the color wheel, and it'll have an effect. So long as I don't go crazy with this blue right here, it's going to dull that down right there. It's going to muddy that up, but it's going to be, because they're so close together in this eye socket here and here, it's going to make that orange pop. And that's what that blue is doing. That's the only reason I use blue. I could have used, if this was a red eye, I would have used green. And I could still add a little green there because of the red tones that are in there, but I'm not going to get crazy. And I'm just letting you know that learning that color wheel will help you with your colors as far as what to choose. And a lot of times I've studied a lot of artists, and they will throw the weirdest colors in on something and it will completely surprise you, because if you stop and look, you're like, wait a minute, that's blue. It's like it's there for a reason, but you're not going to really focus on that reason or on it, because that orange is popping. It's so cool. You're like, that's awesome right there. I'll go with that. I'm gonna like that. I'm just gonna call it cool. And for whatever reason, but if you stop and you really look, and you're like, I see what he did there. Same as that all this right here. All this right here is really, that green is, man, his mouth is really popping. So it's just being kind of sneaky. Ooh, that was dark. Just being kind of sneaky with your colors. And that's fun to do, I think. I think it's fun to slip something in on somebody. A lot of people won't realize it. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and blow this ear away right here. Who cares? This isn't, that ear's, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna take this sandy color right here and just glaze that right there, Do a little something right there. We're gonna call that just about done. I'll probably throw a little blue in there just to be fun. Because I put a little bit of blue over here. I'm putting a lot in over here. There we go. Who cares? It gives a little bit more of a green tint to it. There's nothing we need to prove over there other than that little bit right there. We're done with that. So now, hey, we got the face done. Teeth, let's get them nostrils though. Let's get up in there. Get them nostrils done. I have a personal rule, because this is me talking. It has nothing to do with what you're gonna do and how you like to do things. I try to stay away from them teeth. Once you touch them, especially if this was like a gorgeous model when you had this cool picture and the girl's smiling. Think about that before you say, okay, I'm gonna color this picture, because if her teeth are showing, you could run yourself into the ditch really, really quick. Just trying to establish a little bit of this shadow back here, because remember our light. I like how this pencil really, it's really not any color. It's whatever you're dealing with, you know? It's such a cool color. It's midnight. And I usually use a color called Dungeon. If I can get in here and man, over here it's really doing good for the blue. Over here it's doing great for the green. I'm not getting some bold statement. I'm fixing to go in here though. We're gonna test that theory. I'm fixing to darken all this up. And I'm pressing a little hard because I can get away with it over here, because see the hair? If I accidentally put a dark line, who cares? I'm in a safety zone right here. Pull this color over. See how it did? It's like this is like a chameleon color. It's like whatever you're dealing with, it loves it. It wants to be whatever it's next to. Here I'm doing that artist thing. I'm trying to get away from I got too far away from my grayscale, so I'm having to do it myself. You know, I'm having to come in here and pretend I'm an artist and darken this all up appropriately. Point, point, point. See how he plays in here. Not bad, not bad. A little scary. Pull back out of there. Pull some up in here. I'm going to shoot a little bit that way. A little bit that way. Just kind of rolling it in there. How about that? Let's stick with that. Now it still needs a little more love in some areas, and that's at the end of the game. You know, that's when I come back at the end of it, when I say, oh, I'm finished, and then I'll say, okay, now let's finish it, really. Because there's two finishes. The one where you say, I'm done putting all this color in and thinking, and the next finish is, okay, now I'm going to reestablish some of these darker areas and some of the grayscale I lost. Like, I haven't done anything over here, which I do want to do something, but I don't want to play in it too much. I don't want it to change too much. Maybe a little bit of this green. It's not taking. Spin, spin, spin. I think I'm okay with that. Let's just go. We're leaving some areas. Not even worried about it. Now the teeth. One part of me says, don't touch them. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. The other part of me is like, well, let's try this little dark orange down here. Because I got it here. Remember I said I was going to put it somewhere? It's really bright. She put it in his teeth. That would be funny. But okay, let's address the teeth. I'm gonna take a Prismacolor, white. Okay, really sharp. Now, it's not just for the teeth though. I want to reestablish that it's wet. So we're gonna put some there. Oh, I'm breaking my tip. Pressing a little too hard, but with this, what we're doing, you kind of need a little pressure. I'm going in and finding some of these little bright things here. They're already there. We're just reestablishing them. I can do it here, there, and one line. There, 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 a line. There, there. This is my problem when I get this white here in my hand. Oh, I go running with, I do a 50-yard dash with it. It's like, no, stop, don't do any more. It's like, I can't help it. I just have to keep, because it's such a cool effect. But if you go overboard, which I always do, cool. All right, we got a little bit more over here. Let's just play around for a little. Oh, and another cool thing about this white, you can reestablish some stuff back here. Maybe there's something like that going on back here. There. Back here too. There. That's what we needed, right? Sure. Okay. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Okay, I'm stopping. Ooh, you think I'm bad with this? She's seen me with a gel pen. Ooh, it's horrible. All right, I'm gonna establish a little bit of the shadow. I'm not coloring the whole thing. I'm just putting a line, a line, a line. Look at that gray that's already there. It's already doing something. I can glaze over that white that we put in though. There we go. I knew I was going to do that when I did those white lines. This is kind of a fuzzy area right here. You see that? It's kind of fuzzy. So you need to do something to kind of waken it up over here a little. I don't mind a little bit more action or something, you know, a little bit more something going on in this area. There we go. I like that. So I think we've established our face now. Got some cool colors and just playing around. Hair. Oh my goodness. Let's talk about this. I like the sand that I was using, so that's probably going to be in there. So we're going to use the sand. We're going to need, I don't know if I really want to mess with this yellow, but we could do the green up in here, like the Hulk. You know, the Hulk's got greenish hair. But do we want that contrast? Do we want a contrast, or do we want that? Just bring that color on in, soft green. Be done with it. That's kind of where I'm leaning, thinking about that. I don't want to do any blue, so I'm going around the color wheel in my head, just kind of looking. Now I do like the purples and the violet, the red, reds and stuff like that. That would be something I would attempt here, just if I didn't care. But I kind of want this to go. Pretty cool. I'm adding, because I put so much of this over there, I need a little bit more. Probably in this dull area where there we go. It really does good when it comes into that green there. Yeah, so like, okay, don't add any more over there. That was enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got some white of the page over here. That's one thing I at the end I try to get rid of a lot of that. So the sand can work, I think I'm really on the fence about it, but I don't want it to go yellow though. I always say that. I don't want it to go yellow, but then that's probably what I'm going to be grabbing here. So I'm going to look at that color and this color. These two. That's probably where I'm going to be. And then I need a darker tone, something. I don't think I want that, no. Oh, there's my dungeon. That's one of my favorites. It's almost a green. I think I can get away with this. With that. It plays into that. I can kind of do that. So yeah, that's it. So I got my light color, my medium color, and my dark. I'm going to go in and establish a few of the dark lines. Now I'll show you my rule first so you can see what I'm thinking and what I'm doing. This is something I made up, my rule. So anywhere, like I know this is going to be the dark areas up in here like this, right? So this is going to be the dark areas. And then I'm going to use this light pencil. Make sure I'm showing this good. All right, I'm going to have this light pencil. Let's say like this right here, coming out, and I'm gonna follow the grain, and I'm gonna try to stay out of the grayscale, the gray areas. I just want this here. Now, this one right here is gonna come across. Now these are the same color. Everywhere that a hair here is being crossed by another one, I want to use this back there, and I'm not following anything. I'm just giving it some shade back there. That's it. So now I can look here. Okay, well this is getting crossed, so I can add this here. This is getting crossed. This right here is crossing this one and that one. Crossing that one. This one's crossing everything back there. So it's this. I don't know if this sounds weird, but I needed a rule. Otherwise, I just get lost in the spaghetti. That's just me. So this is crossing. So I'll darken that one and that one. Then I will reassess. That one's getting crossed. That white. This one is crossing that one, which is crossing that one. So that's what I'm doing. Now I'm just going to kind of speed that up because I don't need to say that every time. That's kind of the idea. I'm just going to do this little area right here. I can start pulling this. I'm going so light that there's still plenty of room for me to come in, and if I say, well, I'm really going to need that yellow now. But I need to establish some of this. Now notice we haven't done the dark yet. That's going to be another rule, basically. This isn't something I've really hashed out, you know, multiple times. I'm sure this is going to hit a roadblock, but I have done it with similar to these colors that I'm using now. Well, we kind of committed that yellow, didn't we? So we are going to bring some yellow into this. So this is just a way to speed it up. To me, a lot of times you'll establish a way of doing something, and a pattern will emerge, or some technique will form out of thin air, and you can just go with it. Some of these I see that are just out front, not being crisscrossed or covered by anything. You can just get this full color. Now you could just come in with this one color and just let it dominate and take over, and go so soft that you let the grayscale just take care of the shading for you. But then it's kind of cool sometimes to have the different colors in there. A lot of times you'll find when you're doing your hair, it's like, oh, that shouldn't have been, that's not hair. It's like, it is now. Something up here. It's so dark up here. It almost defies our lighting. It's more, put your lighting more in there, more direct toward it, coming in this way than coming at that angle that I thought, because there's, well, still shadows over here. As this color gets further away from a shadow and it starts in this mono area over here, I'm just using this one color, you can see how it doesn't look bright at all. Whereas if you got the darks backing it up, then it really does look dark. Or it really does brighten up the lighter tones. So now I'm just going to kind of go in here and reestablish some of those dark where it passed over, and start doing it over here. My thought was, if it's getting passed over by another strand of hair or a clump of hair or something like that, then it's got to be behind it, so it's got to be deeper. Which would make it darker. Once you get into an area like this, then this darker medium tone becomes our light. Now it's our light tone. We can kind of do everything, because when we get our dark in our hand, we're going to just hammer through some of this over here. Got too far into it over there. I got too much light with it that time. But let our grayscale take care of some of that. That's what I say. And then come in, reestablish some of these lighter areas right in here. I always want to be able to do that. Just flip one over in my hand. That would be awesome. Now I am starting to glaze my tip to where it's gonna start ruining my paper. I don't want that. I want it to keep. So I better sharpen that in. Reestablish the tip. Alright, let's get in with some dark so we can get a look at it. I don't want to start sketching little hairs. I'm going to contradict myself right here for a second, but when I'm up in here in these areas that I want to create darkness, we I'm really focusing. Focusing. Man, this is gonna be such a long video. I don't know if I should edit it down or just keep it like it is. One part of me says that nobody's gonna sit here and watch 45 minutes of me messing around with this hair and stuff. And another part of me says, well, if one person gets something from it, it kind of makes it worth it. I'm gonna do it anyway, so might as well film it. The only thing is, does it take a little bit longer to upload it? Psh, I don't care. You know, I'll let you do the editing. You be the editor. If you don't want to see this, skip. Jump ahead. And I'm not going to timestamp it. Ain't no way. I told you earlier, I'm lazy. I ain't doing all that. But I will eventually learn how to edit better and be able to break it down. But what I didn't want to do is, I see people do these videos and then they'll say, oh, we're going to take this color and we're going to put it in here. And then they go to the 50 miles an hour. It's like, and they just buzz it in there. And it's like, then they come back and then they're like, okay, we've got this done. It's like, wait a minute. I totally missed everything you were doing. I didn't get to see how your fingers, you know, how you held the pencil and things. There's a lot of things that I know the new people, the beginner, people that are just starting out, they want to pick up on some of these little cues and stuff like that and see how somebody's doing something. All right, we are getting somewhere now. I'm gonna actually speed up myself, just because this is how I would normally be doing this, like really super fast. I'm trying not to, you know, boggle anybody. And it's like, oh, well, you might as well be going fast, but this is what it is. I know a lot of this, it looks like maybe I'm not even. It's like, are you even putting anything on there? A little bit. All right, I've done enough of this picture. Everybody should see, kind of have an idea of, well, I'm gonna use this cream in here, some of these lighter areas. Should have an idea of how I achieved this. I think you see it. If it isn't, I don't know if it's an achievement or not. It's just how I colored this picture. So you come in and that's so cool. Some of these whites and creams and stuff. You can get into these dark areas and do that. See, I stuck around long enough to show you that there. That's good. But a lot of the rest of this hair and stuff, I would allow my background to kind of play into it. If I was doing this background, whatever it is, I would just bring that color up into the hair, most likely. That way, it just kind of drifts off into whatever. I'm trying to sit here and do this whole. But I say that, but then I don't stop. It's like I just keep going. That's the stink bug. I don't know. Was that the color I used for the medium tone? I guess it was. I don't see anything else laying around. We're at a point that we're so far away from the visual. What pulls your eye around the page, that you can just pretty much do whatever you want in some of these areas, and it's not going to make a hill of beans. It's not going to matter. Someone's going to look at this picture for 2 seconds. They're going to be like, oh, that's cool. Hair. Okay, who cares? Boom. Background. Who cares? I'm done. Turn the page. Move along. Whatever. So it's not like someone's just going to hang this in front of their office door and everybody that's sitting in the waiting room is going to have to look at it. And they can start picking it apart, you know? But it's just, no one's going to spend the time on this to pick it apart and say, oh, I don't understand why you did this and why did you do that. It's like, they looked at it. That's all. It's 2 seconds. A lot of times it's just a matter of somebody, you know, they'll look at it and they'll just hit the thumbs up and move on, go to the next picture, whatever's in the stream or whatever. They're really not going to focus on any of the work or any of this thought that I put into it. It's like, it is what it is. So I'm putting a little bit of this bright yellow in there just to hit some areas and give it something. Fill in some of the white. That one string we done earlier. That's funny. I'll leave it. Let's see if I can kind of throw some more around it. Doing what I said I didn't want to do, and that was to bring this yellow up here. Which kind of brought some green with it when it's running across that, what is that, midnight? I've got this midnight in there, so it's catching some of the blue that's in that midnight and running it out. Plus this is kind of a green yellow, mellow yellow. It's got a little bit of a green to it. I might be getting most of it from this mellow yellow, yeah. It's like a highlighter marker. That's cool. I'm going to add a little bit now. Kind of getting that in game. vibe where you just kind of zip around and throw some highlights in different areas that you were avoiding because you didn't know what it was yet. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna call that part of it done. The hair's done. I would probably do a little bit of orange in the shirt right here and just bring this green and blues and stuff down here. Avoid the red, just bring that, maybe do the pink that's up here around this area here. I guess I can pull this back now, get an overall view of it. So kind of what we're doing. Have a good day.